So my Valentine's Day plan was to go see a movie with Emily and then go golfing with Stephanie and go give Valentine's to all of the different Disney characters at Epcot and then go to work. But that's not what happened. I picked up a PhilHar shift instead because I was so excited about getting to work at PhilHar so I had to cancel my plans with both of the girls. And the park was super busy and it was crazy and the fast pass system went down and it was just like the store was super crazy too and I ended up working 12 hours in 2 different lands. But this vlog has absolutely nothing to do with that. So in this vlog I realized that I not only didn't do much for Valentine's Day to vlog about, so I thought what I would do is, for those who have seen my vlogs, this guy, Jared, finally just kind of popped up out of nowhere and I started hanging out with him a lot more. And or if you've been watching this vlogs, Two Girls Our World, then you would know that I have a boyfriend named Jared. But you guys don't know the story behind that at all. And so I thought I'd share it with you guys because it's a story that I haven't really told many people about. And it's Valentine's Day and I'm feeling mushy, so here you go. Okay, so around this time last year is when Jared and I actually met. Jared and I met at PhilHar complex, more specifically Mickey's PhilHar the Carousel, Princess Fairy Tale Hall. First time I saw him, I was sitting in the Pan CDS break room and he came in. He was still in training, or he was with his trainer for something, and he was making some sort of just snide remark, some sort of joke, and I remember thinking that he was really cute, but I thought that because of the way he said the joke that he was like one of these macho kind of guys, which I've been in like quote-unquote relationships with guys like that, so I was like, no, I'm not gonna be interested in that. And honestly, when I came down here, I knew 2 things. One, if I was going to date anybody, which I'd never had a boyfriend before, Jared, mind you, if I was going to date anyone, that it was going to have to be a cast member, because it was just going to have to be a cast member or someone who is like an annual pass holder who loves Disney or something like that. And 2, I did not want to get into a relationship anytime soon. I wanted to focus on my career and getting started on my own, and I did not want to date a CP because they would have to go off and finish college and it would be long distance and I didn't want to have to deal with that. Anyway, Jared and I met around this time last year, February 2015. Excuse the noise in the background. My cat is deciding that she wants attention and she's being obnoxious about it. There were things about him that I started to kind of like notice and really like. Like one thing that I always said, and I still believe it, is like I enjoyed just being around him, just hanging out with him. Like I loved his companionship and just like being with him and just being silly or working or whatever. I just like that, like, more than anything. I found out he was really goofy and silly. He's extremely corny and sarcastic. His jokes are just like oh haha, that's a knee slapper, yeah, it's not really funny. A lot of his jokes are like that, but I thought it was funny that he was like that because I don't know, I just thought it was funny. About a month passed and I decided officially that I liked him. But I didn't know if he liked me, because a lot of times when I've had a guy that liked me, like, he didn't like me back. It was just me thinking it in my head, and so like I didn't act on it. I didn't say anything, because whenever I liked a guy, my dad or my mom or my friends would always get super excited and make a big deal out of it, and since nothing was happening, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. So I really didn't say much about Jared, honestly, to anybody back home. Through a friend, Angel, I don't know if I had mentioned him in my training vlogs. He's the guy that trained with me for PhilHar. He noticed instantaneously right off the bat, because one night Jared and I just like stood at PhilHar Greeter and talked for like 45 minutes. And the next day, Angel was like, so what's up with you and Jared? Time went on, we kind of like just kind of danced around the bush about like whether we liked each other or anything, and so I always say that Angel lost patience, because he went and he asked Jared like if he liked me. And Jared was like, you know, wasn't flat out honest with him at first, but pretty much said that he liked me, and of course Angel came and told me. So I kind of like had an in on it. I already knew that Jared liked me, but Jared didn't know if I liked him, which I do kind of feel bad about. And Jared and I hung out a couple of times before he asked me out, just the two. Well, we hung out twice with a group of friends that we worked with, and then we hung out 2 more times, just the 2 of us. And it was the end of March. It was a very cold, long day or afternoon at Magic Kingdom, just the 2 of us hanging out, which was I was kind of glad that it was cold, because it made me had to like cuddle close together to keep each other warm. At the end of the night, we walked to our cars, and he followed me over to my car, and I was kind of like, what are you doing? I was like, because we hugged and we said goodbye, and he came over and he leaned up against the car, because like I had my door open still. He like leaned up against the top, and I leaned over, and as I was sitting in the car, and he's like, so do you want to go out on Friday or this weekend? Because we had talked about like when we were available or something. Yeah, so do you want to go out like on Friday or something? I can't remember exactly what he said, because like at that point on, I kind of was just like in shock, because I've never, well, I take that back. I've been asked out once, and that did not go well. But like I'd never really like been asked out kind of like face to face like that, and so and I really liked him, and so I kind of like, I didn't honestly remember. I had to talk to him later. I was like, I don't even remember what my answer was. I knew I said yes to some certain point, but I couldn't remember how or what exactly. And he said that I looked down really bashfully and looked up, and I said, all right, which I think is the stupidest answer ever, but that's just me. It wasn't the next day because he had plans, but the day after that, we went on a date. It was my first date ever. We went to a movie. We saw the Muppets movie. Muppets Most Wanted, I think is what it was. We saw it in the dine-in theater. And I was so nervous that I couldn't eat anything. And Jared always complains that I made him spend like super amount of money on the salad just to eat the breadsticks, because my stomach was so upset. Then we went to Magic Kingdom, of course, and we rode all of my favorite rides. And it was warmer that day, so we could ride like Splash Mountain and stuff. And I had a blast. We had a total blast. It was so much fun. And then of course, we had to go to work. Tried not to like be constantly trying to figure out where each other were. And at least I did that anyway. And then he drove me home at the end of the day. And like that was pretty much my first date. But like it was a lot of fun. Like I just really enjoyed, like I said, I really enjoy hanging out with him and being with him. And anyway, fast forward to about a week later, his family came to visit, so I got to meet his family like right off the bat, which honestly I don't mind. We hung out here, hung out there, like we did the parks every other day, and then we went to Hollywood Studios. And for those who don't know, Fantasmic is my favorite show. I love that show so much. So we went and we saw it, and Jared knew it was my favorite show. We were watching the princess part. The princess part is next to the finale with Mickey, with Sorcerer Mickey. Like, the princess part's my favorite part because it has Ariel in it, and Ariel's my girl. And so, like, every time Ariel's part comes out, I always, like, belt the words out and just, like, sing my heart out. And so, I was singing, and Jared turns, in the middle of my song, and Jared turns and looks at me, and he leans over and he says, I think it was, like, something along the lines of, like, may I kiss you? And so like I turned, and I'd never had a boyfriend, so of course like I'd never had my first kiss. And so I said that, and I was kind of hesitant at first, but then he like leaned in and he kissed me, and it was a cute little kiss. And then like when we were done, like the Someday My Prince Will Come song was going on. It was like this slow-mo like moment that I'll just like never forget. Like I absolutely just like thought it was so precious. So yeah, that happened. And then a couple months later in May, my parents came to visit for Star Wars weekends, and Jared and I spent the morning and the early afternoon together because we went to the Star Wars breakfast. Yeah, we hung out, and then like I drove him home, just because like at that point we were taking turns driving because he had a car. Clearly, because he drove me home our first date. Anyway, and yeah, he kissed me, and then he said, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. It was something like, I'm pretty sure that like I love you, and he told me that he loved me. And, sorry, I'm like super smiley now. Yeah, and ever since then, we've just been like inseparable. Like for the rest of the summer, it was it's really hard for us not to hang out with each other. Oh, I left out one most important part. Okay, and I can't believe I left this part out because this part is important. So, Jared and I were like dating, right? Like the first like week or so. And he and I never had the discussion of him like being my boyfriend or I being his girlfriend, because he had never asked me to be his girlfriend yet. And there was always like this joke. I played this prank twice that like I had this boyfriend and like played it on like he was my boyfriend. I had this backstory and everything, and then on April Fool's Day I told all my friends, this guy's not real, you know, April Fools, haha, I don't have a boyfriend. And they all were like completely shocked. And so we thought it was funny that since I hadn't really mentioned much about Jared to my friends or posted many pictures or anything of the two of us, because I didn't want everyone to freak out back home, I told my parents. I did tell my parents, like the day before he asked me out, I had told my mom all about Jared. Anyway, he asked me like on April Fool's, he's like, well then why don't we do this? Instead of having it be like we go Facebook official on April Fool's, why don't I ask you to be my girlfriend? And so he's like, Danny, and I'm like, great. Danny, will you be my girlfriend? And so now April 1st is our anniversary. And I'm really excited because he told me, I think it was like yesterday, we talked about it, that he's going to come and visit me because I got those couple of days off. So we're going to go, and it's going to be super, I told him it's going to be a super, super corny Disney like day, weekend, whatever. And I'm gonna like flaunt it and be like, you know, this is my boyfriend and I love him so much. And I do. I love him so much. I love you too. If you're watching, which you probably are. And so yes, that's my super corny Valentine's Day story, and hope you enjoyed the pictures that I've now posted on this vlog, and I'm gonna go to sleep now because it is 1 o'clock in the morning and I've been working 12 hours, so